Hello and welcome to Iron Deck. I'm your host, Peter, and today I get to do a haul video. Jeremy's done a few haul videos. This is the stuff that I've been collecting over the last few weeks. This is not investment advice, this is an entertainment channel. Please take everything I say with a grain of salt. I don't know what I'm talking about, and we'll go from there. So, these are the things that I've been purchasing. Some of them are for my personal investments. Some of them are because they're cards I just love. Some of them are cards I need. And of course, some of it, as you'll see, was me staying up way too late at night and getting on TCG Player and buying some cards that are dumb. So here we go. First things first, cards that I collect, cards that I like. My favorite card in Magic the Gathering is the almighty Demotic Tutor. Love this card. The flavor from the beginning of Magic. This is one card that I'm working on a global set. So I have Alpha, Beta, Unlimited. I basically have all the Judge promos, the Mystical Archives, all the versions, etc. In Double Masters, for example, I've got the regular foil, the full art foil. I'm trying to collect the other languages, but I'm not doing it for the modern cards. At some point, collecting can get tedious, and I don't want this to be tedious. I want this to be fun. So having to worry about, Ultimate Masters was released in Russia, and there's a Russian version. Oh God! So I figure the original revised 4 and black border, 4 and white border are a kind of good rounding out of a global set. The only one I'm missing is Summer. So that's going to be quite a hurdle to get. And if anyone's got one, shoot me a message, irondeckllc@gmail.com. I'm interested. So this is German 4 and black border. And then, which brings me to my second favorite card, which would be same kind of flavor idea, good old Wrath of God. I'm not working on a full global set for this. I don't have the alpha or beta, and that's another hurdle to overcome. But I do have, some 7th edition foils, all the different artworks, whether it's the promos, the From the Vaults, Portal had a different art, and now I've got a German 4 and black border. So I'm very excited about that. So those are 2 cards that just kind of are a pet project for me to collect. Next up, we have good old Judge promo Omniscience. So I do play Legacy. My favorite deck to play is Show and Tell, which often runs versions of Omniscience. I'm currently running the Invocation Omniscience because it tends to tilt my opponent since they don't know what the heck the card is. But this is beautiful. I think they did a great job with this card, and we'll gradually build up a position on these so that I can put them in my deck. So again, not really an investment purpose, just kind of needs to go in the deck. Speaking of needing to go in the deck, I was amazed to find out I only owned one of these, and it happened to be a masterpiece. So I needed a second one for a sideboard. I didn't collect Magic during like 8th edition or whenever they reprinted Defense Grid. So I needed to buy another one. I can't have them not match, right? So I ended up grabbing a Masterpiece Defense Grid. And honestly, these masterpieces, in my opinion, are some of the prettiest cards ever made by Wizards of the Coast. As of right now, I think these are kind of considered exclusive. I don't foresee them making this border again. Maybe if they did a secret layer, possibly, and make some more inventions, I would buy it. So, all right, next up, we'll talk a little bit about some of my investment strategies. I've got a couple collector's boxes of New Capenna. So again, this is not investment advice. This is just what I'm doing personally. I've been grabbing 1 or 2 of each of these sets as they've come out since Throne of Eldraine. Usually I would save a booster box or 2. Now I'm kind of saving these collector's boxes. They're a lot easier to store, they're smaller, and they're worth more money. And they seem to be going up in value a bit faster than certainly faster than draft boosters, but even set boosters, which have been seeing some appreciation. I find that these collector's boxes are doing better because they have more chase cards. That being said, I'm not sure this set is going to do as well as, say, Kamigawa, because they don't really have kind of a chase card in them. Um, whereas the Kamigawa sets had the neon cards. So, but still, they're the only way to get some of the full art foils is in this set and in this specific box. So these will always kind of have a value. I don't really foresee much of a downside to these investment wise. So I figured why not grab a couple. We'll see what happens in a few years. They only have to go up a few percent a year to match stocks, So next up, reserve list stuff. So I have a weird collection obsession. I'm aware that I'm probably not going to be able to get one of every single reserve list card. There are some huge hurdles to overcome there. I do have Power 9 and some of the heavy hitters like Tabernacle and Mishra's Workshop, but there's the really cheap ones like Homelands. I'm not really chasing those. And then there's the middle of the road ones, the $20 to a few $100s. And I think those have a potential to at least slowly increase. I'm not expecting any major spikes. I mean, I got lucky. I bought Lake of the Dead when it was $20, and now the cheapest near mint Lake of the Dead on TCG Player is $115. So first up, we have kind of middle of the road here, Haunting Wind. Like Jeremy, I'm also interested in getting into Commander at some point. And so in terms of getting some staples for Commander that are on the reserve list, as Jeremy mentioned in his video, the time to buy it is always now. If there's a card you need on a reserve list, get it now, because typically the reserve list only goes up because people buy these cards and they tend to not want to sell them at a lower price. So if the price dips, and a $20 card becomes a $15 card, then a lot of the $20 people just hold the card. And then that lowers the supply, and then that gradually raises the price. Sometimes there's an unnatural spike. A card will go from $100 to $500, and there's a run on them, and then it kind of settles back down, but it never settles back down to 100. It'll settle down to 200, maybe even 300. We saw that with Lion's Eye Diamond, for example. So there's that. And now here's where kind of the same idea comes along, but I was really tired and I don't know what I was thinking, but I ended up going out and just getting a few totally random, but clean $10 to $20 reserve list cards. And it's silly. I don't expect any of these to go up in value. This is just kind of to put a little check on the box of the list of what reserve list cards I have and which ones I don't have. So, okay. It happens. This is what makes it fun, collecting, right? All right. A little bit heavier hitter here. We have a reserve list card that I did not own. Good old Island of Whack. Hold on. Focus. There we go. So, yeah. And not only did I get this at a good price to start with, but the price spiked as the card was being shipped to me. Again, I think that's an unnatural spike. I think it will come back down, but it'll still come down higher than what I purchased it at. And so this, to me, will sit in a binder and hopefully continue to go up. Last but not least, and I'm very excited about this. So as I mentioned before, I have Power 9, and I was looking to get into Vintage. Of course, I'm going through all this effort to build a Vintage deck, and then I actually have to find someone to play Vintage with, which will be next to impossible, but hey, at least I'll be ready. So I was looking through Vintage Tinker and realized I was missing one heavy hitter that I didn't own. And it's kind of too late to quit now. I have the Power 9. So I had to add on one last heavy hitter there, and there is the beautiful Time Vault. I mean, think about how old this card is. This came out in the early 90s. This is unlimited, so 93. And this card is super clean. You can see the surface there. I mean, when this card was cracked, I mean, there's a little chip in the corner here and maybe a little one up here in this corner once it focuses on the card instead of my hand. But the interesting thing is, you know, this card was not just cracked in a pack. Otherwise, it would be mint, and probably slabbed. So this card was probably opened in the 90s, and someone played with it before sleeves were a thing and kept the card this clean. So I got very lucky. I bought this card way under market value, and I couldn't be happier about that. So I now have all of the heavy hitters for vintage, and we can kind of finish building that vintage deck so it can just sit in a box and not be played. But you know, is what it is. That's why we play Magic, right? We want to collect the cards, build decks, and hopefully one day get around to playing them. So yeah, so that's kind of my my haul for the week. I hope you all enjoyed taking a look and living vicariously. I always like seeing what people are buying. I like watching packs being open, so that's one of the reasons we built this channel, to entertain all of you. If you like it, please like, subscribe, comment, and let me know how you think I did on my purchases here, and have a great day. Thank you.